Sagittarius, Capricorn, to your 2026 New Year's forecast. Hope your friends are doing great out there. Okay, let's see what's going on with you. As the snake is exiting, the fire horse will be coming in February for that Chinese New Year. So let's see what's going on right now. Getting through winter, but first, let's take a look at your overall energy for the entire year. That'll give us an idea of what is going on with you. We've got some Aquarius energy coming in. The energy is freedom-loving, rebellious, idealistic, and technological. Oh, I like that. And I love the freedom-loving because we are in that year of the fire horse. That fire horse is about wild, free, but keeping the momentum. But yet that fire coming through is going to give it that passion to want to pick up and charge forward with truth and passion and, you know, all these beautiful things that fire brings in. So I really love that. And I do feel like the fire horse for you is going to bring in this kind of like balance and liberation. That way you can kind of shed old habits, find your true intentions for what it is you truly need, and finding that joy kind of as that passion that's going to fuel that fire, fuel that success for you, whether it's in love, career, and just, you know, maybe just everything, right? Who knows? Right now, I'm talking about that Mercury in the winter time. So we got this Aquarius energy for the overall energy for the year. And then for the winter time, you have this beautiful Mercury energy coming through. So it's about how you think, communicate, talk, and travel. And of course, Mercury is that Virgo and that Gemini energy coming together, where it's going to push you to make that Virgo energy is going to push you to want to get things done. It might even be a little over serious for you in the very beginning of the new year. You might be just kind of putting the pedal to the metal. Where you're not going to feel like you want to stop doing what you're doing, if anything, just pushing forward, which is also good for that fire horse because it wants that momentum, right? It doesn't want stagnant energy in any place. It's either you're going to deepen your relationships or you're just everything's going to fall apart, right? That's what it's telling you. So I do like this. I do feel like this is going to be very productive for you and make you focus on moving and speaking. With more productivity, because you're going to be speaking this, communicating this, writing this, traveling, getting things done, putting in those leadership roles. This is going to push you in a big leadership role. You can already feel that energy coming through. Very nice, very nice. So let's see. Let's put those there. Let's look at a couple of areas of your life over here and see what's going on. Talk about that balance, that liberation, that freedom. Let's get going. Being boss, getting into boss mode. I feel like a lot of you were doing a lot better last year. I've done a lot of your personal readings as well for a lot of you. So I have seen this momentum that you've been pushing towards all year long. And then, of course, just doing your readings as well. For those of you that this resonates with, you know, it just feels like there is this balance that you're starting to really find. And I'm really starting to see it from summer, mostly from summer going through to the fall area, which we're still considered fall now, until January, just in the way that I do things, right? So it's just really talking about those places that you are keeping dear to your heart and knowing where I want to go for your own legacy, your own relief. So, I mean, there could have been, you know, there was some withdrawal. It's saying right now within the wintertime, you will feel like you're withdrawing from things that no longer serve you. But you're also going to recover from a lot of financial loss. So if you felt like I really just could not keep my hand on the money, it's like that money comes to me and then it's gone as soon as it's in my hand, it's gone. It does feel like you're going to start feeling like you're improving in that finances, and things are going to start checks and balances. Oh my gosh, I seen it with the justice card. Checks and balances are going to be completely balanced. I do feel like there's going to be a time within the winter time, though, you're going to feel a little disconnected from your intuition. But I feel like it's just because you're balancing more on your analytical mind than your intuitive mind. So you're not going with your gut feeling, um, which is pretty much your intuitive mind. You're just listening to your ego mind, which is your analytical mind, for all the answers. It's not going to bring in much clarity, but it's going to get your checks and balances done, that's for sure. And it's saying that that's exactly what's happening. It's going to get your checks and balances together by using your analytical mind, head over heart. You're going to have this very truthful, honest kind of conversation with yourself about where you're putting your money, what you're doing with your life, where you're going, where this is leading. Am I on the right track? But it's more of a mental clarity. Like I said, from an analytical mind, it's not using any kind of intuition. I do feel like your intuition will be blocked. But it's kind of funny though, Sag Cap, because it feels kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Like I'm not even thinking about that because I'm so into my own egotistical, analytical mind that I'm just only focused here, like what's on paper, not what's, in the ethers. Let's put it that way, right? Not listening to what my higher self says. I'm not worried about what spirit's saying. I'm literally looking at numbers, like I'm clicking numbers, right? Is it a bad thing? I don't see it as a bad thing for now, because I can hear you too, and I know some of you personally, and I know you're sitting over here, but is that good? For now, I think it'll be okay because of the communication that you're having with yourself, even though it's not your higher self, it's your analytical mind, because you're like, writing down your pros and cons type of scenario. I think you'll be okay. Would I expect you to stay there long? No. And those of you who know me, because I do your readings a lot, you know what I would say. I would say, let's not stay there very long. Because we definitely have to use gut feelings to be able to. That's why we have both. We have those things, right? Some people's intuition is not as strong as others. That's why they do, have tarot readers. But deciphering what it is that you truly need and what you don't need from an analytical mind is very good, but you're going to want that gut feeling as well. So do I expect you to stay there all winter? It looks like most of the winter you will be there. Do I expect you to come back out? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, because I want you to be able to think also from a different point of view. I want you to also, embrace from that emotional point. That emotional point is the intuition. Okay. You're going to have somebody who's very foolish around you, who's going to try and contradict a lot of things that you were saying. You could feel like that's not exactly the place that you wanted to be. You felt like this could become more diplomatic, more balanced, more supportive, weighing you down, giving you options, avoiding too many options. You want to sit in your leadership role, but you just feel like with this type of person around, it's going to be hard to have financial clarity. but you're going to learn to navigate to trust in certain situations. You're also going to navigate a lot of change that's going on. There's going to be a place where you're going to feel like you kind of lost your way within this one area of your life, and you're going to distance yourself to find that joy. But you can't emphasize on embracing the communication enough. There's so much communication that's coming in during the winter time that it's going to be needed. Some of it you're going to feel like it's some of the communication is a distraction more than it's needed, but it's going to have to be done. If there's going to feel like there's an over urgency to get this either off your chest or get this knowledge to you about this situation. Okay? I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, it's going to help actually balance the productivity within your life. For a lot of you, it's actually going to balance your relationship. For a lot of you, this is a love relationship that you need some kind of clarity about when it comes to this person. You could be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces. And I do feel like there's going to be this place where you're going to want them to come toward you a little more empathetic, a little more respectful, but I also think that you want them to come back to you, around to you, with a little more self-respect. I feel like for some of you, you're going to feel like during the winter time, this person doesn't have much self-respect, so they're having a hard time respecting you, and you're like, no, let's start it. I just feel like you're saying, slow down with your conversation and start again. Let's do this again. So pulling away from them so that they can so this can be cleared up. You can't really make any decisions from that point of view when a person comes at you confused, not having any respect for you or themselves, not speaking and emphasizing what it is they truly need and want, allowing others to distract them. So they're kind of coming at you like a fool. Sorry, that's exactly what it is, guys. Okay, so but I don't feel like you're going to just throw away the situation. You actually are, it's kind of like you're asking them to slow down and restart. Yeah. Slow down, restart. Okay, let's do it again. Can we do this again? Can you come back and, speak to me like an adult, or speak to me, as a person? I mean, because the self-respect that they could be needing from themselves is just them not acting like a child, right? Because it does feel like they're kind of coming at you kind of like a child, and then talking to you very disrespectfully. Okay, so let's watch for that. It doesn't have to be a love situation. It's definitely a relationship of something. Okay, so be careful of that. It is a big one, though, and that's needed, though. That's a big one, and it's absolutely needed because you have the Hierophant and the Empress, so it's very important. Okay, and you have the Hermit. So you have 3 major arcana. So anytime you have a major arcana, that means it's a very important event that's taking place. It has to happen. It's going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about that happening, because those are major events that are fated to happen that we don't have control over. The only things we have control over are lesser arcana. Those are the ones that say whether we're going to stay depressed, do this, do that, right? These are saying these are meant to be, and these are the way they have to be, okay? Because they make big waves within our lives. Big changes, big events. Those really tell you whether you stay or whether you go, right? And which direction you're going in. I always say, those are the ones that always say whether you're going to stay in rags or you're going to be in riches, right? Okay, guys. Going straight to spring over here. That's Message for spring. Best energy for spring. You're getting 2 cards on this one, and that's fine. Many people do. We have, actually, it's really strange to only get 1 card. But that's okay, because it was all about communication in both areas of your life. But this one is Gemini, so now you're going back to that. You're getting a lot of air energy this year. The energy is communicative. You got a lot of communication. That Mercury is also Gemini, a mischievous, lively, witty, and informative. Stimulating exchange is possible in the first house, what people see and the impressions you give to them. But I also like to tell you that it's also the impressions you give yourself. Okay, let's not forget that. Just because the card doesn't say it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does exist. It's not only what people are seeing you, but it's also you looking in that mirror, right? And how you're seeing yourself. You know, are you seeing yourself as extravagant? Are you seeing yourself as, you know, a loser? I mean, let's just get in there and let's just get in there and get real, right? Because if you're seeing yourself as a lesser, it's going to impact how you're going to communicate and how you're going to be seen on the outside world. Because you could actually say, well, if I see myself as a loser, then that's the energy I'm portraying out to the world. If I see myself as exuberant, and I don't mean from an egomatic, narcissistic, or, you know, self-centered way. I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying that you're conceited. That's the word that I was looking for. This is not about conceit. This is about reality, right? This is saying, if I see myself and I put myself up and I look wonderful and I'm spotlighting, guess what, guys? You're courageous and you're taking on that kind of, well, the first house is Leo, right? It always reminds me of Leo energy of the sun, because it is the sun. It's your sun, and your sun is, whether you're a Sag or Cap is your sun sign, is what you're portraying out. But you're spotlighting, right? So if you're putting out that courageous energy and spotlighting, others are going to pick up on that, right? They're going to say, wow, you look amazing. Conceited is different, because that means that you think you always look great even when you didn't do shit, even when you're in flip-flops and, you know, ripped jeans. And I don't mean the kind that you buy. I mean the ones that you cut up because you thought you were so cool. Because you thought this was 1980s punk rock, right? That's so punk rock of you. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about bringing yourself up. You know what I'm talking about. You get married, you go to these weddings, and they pump themselves up and they look so beautiful, right? And they're like, oh my God, thank you. You know what I mean? Yes. And you're spotlighting, you're gorgeous. And I do feel like that's exactly what's going on here. And that's the reason I really want to bring that in, is because this is how you're seeing yourself right now. You're seeing yourself stronger. You're seeing yourself as a leadership. You're seeing yourself growing. We can see it here. You're bringing yourself out. We already know that's what's happening. Right? It's not just an example. It's also where you're going. I don't see anything here that's saying I see myself in a lower atmosphere at this time. No, if anything, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm going, damn, I'm looking good right now. Get it, right? So yeah, and that's because you're seeing these new beginnings that are coming through. But I love it because it's not just the new beginnings of what's on the exterior world. It's also what's taking place in the interior world of yourself. A lot of times what we do on the interior side makes the exterior better, right? So our interior is way better. Yeah, and you're saving a lot of money. So I do see you starting to save a lot of money. And I do see that you're really navigating, you're really coming up with the way that you're doing things. There is some exhaustion. You're going to feel a little bit exhausted, but I feel like that's a lot of communication. That's a lot of out resources that you're going to be dealing with. So I do feel like you're going to be dealing with a lot of different types of resources, a lot of different kinds of people, reaching out, you know, dealing, boom, boom, boom. You're going to be very busy. You're going to be booked and busy for sure. In fact, if that card comes up, I wouldn't be surprised. Right? Because you're a powerhouse. Definitely a power. You have the power to take control of your life, career, and finances. Focus on your needs. You guys are moving and shaking, and you are the sign of moving and movers and shakers. And right now it's very much so. And that's good though, because that will put you in your own element. It's going to make you feel amazing, even though you might be a little tired, a little worn down. You might need time to recharge, the card of recharge, regroup. And that's fine. But you're making all these new bonds, all these new improvements. I do feel like for a lot of you, you're meeting all these new people, these high CEO type of people. Some of you were moving into a new, could be a new country, a new spot. Moving and shaking. I just see moving and shaking. You definitely could be moving. Literal move. No matter what, you have, metaphor. Now, you do have some leak information that you want to keep people are exposing your secrets, exposing what you're doing. Be careful of energy vampires. You do have some emotional reactions towards the end of spring. I do feel like there could be facing some past hurts, some problems with somebody. Watch the warning flags. Okay, there it is. Look at that. You see that? You see what this says? Ignored intuition. What did I tell you in over here? You're not listening to your intuition. It was fine for winter, but I want you to get back into your intuition by spring. I told you it couldn't last forever. It's fine there because you're using an analytical mind, but I told you you're going to have to come back and actually try to open that up and use it again, guys. And now it's saying there could be some warning signs that you're not seeing towards the end of spring that you're going to want to use your intuition about a person. This is a person. This is about a person. Somebody who's talking shit. Somebody who's feeding off your energy. It could be somebody at work. Okay. It could be in the workplace. It's saying there's a wake-up call, spiritual awakening, sudden clarity. There it is again. You cannot ignore your intuition forever. I need you to wake up. Wake up, right? Because now something's going on, and I need you to do so. But you also have self-care. It's time to recharge emotionally. Once you recharge emotionally, that's definitely going to make your intuition come back up as well. Okay, so now you're burning yourself out. You got all these wonderful friggin' things going. You're moving, you're shaking, you're like, boom, you are hot, baby. You are on fire, right? I mean, you are the fire horse. I mean, you are galloping all over the place, right? Which is crazy because, I mean, Sagittarius is a centaur, half horse, half man, and it almost feels like you're taking that and you're running with it. So taking that horse part of it and just like galloping everywhere. But as it's wearing and tearing you down, your intuition needs to come back. You got to stop now. You got to stop. You have to replenish. It's time to go. It's time to go get an avocado mask. Sit in the jacuzzi, get pampered, pamper yourself, meditate, put on your candles, go watch my second channel for some meditation, hypnosis, whatever. That I throw that in there. I'd be dumb not to throw it in there, right? It's like, wait, you have a second channel? Wouldn't you be stupid not to say that? Gonna let my own Leo come out, right? Payday, financial rewards, money rolling in, celebration of success. Check that cash. Look at that money coming in. My God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys, look at that money. That's a payday. That's like boom money, baby. Boom money. That's right. Because you are putting on, look at that, some CEO energy. That's crazy. You are, though. You are. And you are just taking control. You're a natural leader. Your confidence in your business is booming. You're the boss. You're sitting in the boss seat, and you're bringing home that ka-ching. I mean, that is literally a big, huge ka-ching. Wow, that's big money. Yeah, feeling brand new. Look at that. Enough to replenish whatever was lost. Reinventing yourself. Look at that. Reinventing yourself. Some of you are just going to end up millionaires. Literally millionaires. Or really close to it. Or on the beginning of the edge of the verge to do so. others of you are reinventing yourself into this place of where you really truly want to be. Living better, living the life that I need. I can put food on the table. I can have new clothes. I can feel good about myself. I can get down to the nitty-gritty and be who I need to be. No matter what you're doing, you're reinventing yourself into something higher, something beautiful. No matter which area of your life, some of you are going to be really high on the cash area, right? Like I said, becoming millionaires, and some of you are just going to be becoming so comfortable that it's like, I've been waiting a long time for this, to feel this, allowing that shift to be there. And when you shift like that, it's also going to allow you to, I don't know, guys, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful transformation of investment within yourself and getting that green light, the biggest green light, but you worked for it. You worked for that. It wasn't like it just like fell into your lap. Because I've said it forever. You don't get just things to just fall in your lap. You have to work for it. Because remember, in manifestation, the first action is, the first thing to manifest is taking action. And the first action is what, my friends? What's the first action? Communication. First biggest action is speaking. Communicating. And here it is. Invest wisely. Investments made will have a positive result that will bring prosperity. Wow. So let's go into summer and fall and see what's going on. Fresh, new feeling. Get yourself a new pair of shoes as soon as that happens, because you're going to need them. Because it's going to make you feel fresh. You're going to need to walk in those new shoes. That way you can get rid of the old ones, right? Rid of the old ones. Why? It wasn't because you walked into success with those old shoes. It's that those old shoes don't take away any old. It gets rid of the old energy. You're brand new, baby. You're fresh. You're new, right? Yeah, that's what it's saying. Summer is Sagittarius. You're going right. See, you're moving right into your own energy with Mars energy. Oh my gosh. So it says the energy infuses power, superior confidence, and enthusiasm with faith, good fortune, and authority. And then your physical energy drives strength and fighting spirit. You are just fighting with all this spirit, like all this energy. And then that horse fire is coming in, just allowing you to just burn. And I mean, this is really burning, guys. This is like burning from both ends of passion and improvements. And you want that. You want to be able to burn in both areas, because that's where the improvements stay. That's where you're saying, I'm allowing this energy to stay. I have set myself up for success that's actually going to stay with me. This is a long-term success. This isn't something that's just here for a second. This says if it's burning at both ends, you're going to allow this to be exactly where you need to be, because there's no distraction. If you have fire here and you have fire here, there's nothing getting past either of these points. So pretty much it's kind of like putting yourself into a cul-de-sac. Can only go so far, but at both ends of the horseshoe of a cul-de-sac, you have fire, so you're not going anywhere and no one's coming in, right? It's a different kind of burning at both ends. I know a lot of people say don't burn your bridges at both ends. That's not the scenario that we're here, though. That's a different way of looking at something. This one's actually saying this way you can't let anything in or anything out that doesn't deserve to be there, right? Because it's protected at both ends. That's what it is. I know it's a weird way of looking at something, but that's what I see in my mind. So that's how I speak, and that's how I bring it in. Right? It's a very constructive energy. You're constructing what it is you truly need and what you want. And these are two heavy-duty cards. This Mars here is that Aries energy coming in with that Sagittarius energy. Two heavy-duty fire signs. Well, it doesn't matter even if you had Leo, right? It doesn't matter. This is fire energy. You have that. And especially having that Mars there, that first energy of fire, that is the heaviest fire of them all, right? Absolutely. Right? Because that one's the one that says, I'm the first sign of the zodiac and I'm strong and I have that fighting spirit to keep going strong. And this says, where? In your outside world. There it is. There it is. And you're what? You're learning. You're learning all kinds of new things and all kinds of new behaviors and new ways to doing something and adding new responsibilities. Of course, it'll cause more emotional strain in the end, but at least you're learning, you're using patience, you've got calm communication coming through things, and you have the leadership skills to do so. Mars is the leader. That's that emperor energy coming through that says, I'm here. So, there's this energizing kind of energy coming through this for your finances, your careers, and the way that it keeps going. It's just moving, moving, moving. Okay, so it's great too because there's going to be this place here with, look at this, unlocking, learning the key to managing your money, unlocking the floodgates of abundance free from limitations. Shifting, having the courage to change the course, continue to grow, and embrace in the learning. That's crazy. What did you just get? The third house of what? Learning. It literally just said that. You are taking your career in a totally different direction. It could be that you're taking it in a totally different direction. Do I believe that? No, because we're burning at both ends. We're not shifting anywhere there. What you're shifting, you're not taking it in a different direction, my friend. The only different direction you're taking it in is to unlocking the floodgates of new potentials, right? Of higher, bigger potentials in the same area. No, you're not jumping all over the place. Okay, you actually got where you need to be, and this is where you're going to make all of this money, laboring. Your hard work will pay off soon. Keep going. It just keeps going and going and going and going. Remember, it says, though, that hard work is the key. What lasts will never come easy. Well, we never said it was going to be easy. We said we're getting there, right? No. In fact, you never knew it was easy. All through 2025, that's all you were doing was busting your ass to get to that place. Waiting for those foundations to strengthen, waiting to find the right area, waiting to keep it building, however it was for you. So in summer, it says it just continues to keep building stronger and stronger. Some of you have a soul contract coming in. We do see a new love coming in. There could be some boundaries to this situation. You do have a status upgrade, so you are watching that. You do have overnight success. Okay, but you also have to be careful about your hidden emotions. And this person actually could also be hiding behind a mask because they see your status quo. Some of you are getting ready for retirement. This is it. This is like, I've made all of my money. I told you some of you are going to be millionaires. And then you're going to start relaxing, living the dream. Most of you are going to be living the dream in summertime. Okay, and for some of you who are older, this is what your future planning was. You started investing in the right places, and now you can actually kick back, retire, and do what you need to do. Okay, you've actually made it. Okay, and that's how you run it. I feel like some of you, you're living this dream. You're in this different country. You could be on this island. It could be whatever. But I do feel like you're going to run into this soulmate. This is going to be a very emotional. I love this relationship, actually. This person has a lot of spiritual growth. They are kind of living behind a mask a little bit. It does feel like they're kind of afraid to show who they kind of are because they see you in this light. Right? And so it's almost like they're hoping that they can, be as good as be up there with you, be as good as you are. They do see that. They've gone through a lot of healing. When they run into you, there could feel like they have a poker face on, emotionally detached, but it's not that so much. It's also because, like I said, they're seeing you in a higher status. But loving this relationship has a lot of inner childhood going on within this situation. For some of you, this could be feeling like a very quick rebound for you. But you have enough personal growth to be able to take on this new relationship. Okay, so you're going to be just fine. Let's grab a couple of these love cards over here. Yeah, you might feel like it's a little quick. You might have just gotten out of a relationship, or vice versa. It could be them. Okay, but I feel like everything will be fine. Even if it is a rebound, it looks fine. Celebrate today. Celebrate the love you share with those that matter the most. True love, a deep and enduring connection going beyond superficial attraction. There it is. And I feel like that's what behind the mask is like, am I good enough for Sag Cap? Okay. But there, I feel like everything's fine. Getting into winter, so you have that beautiful summer romance coming in. I like it. Could last a long time. Okay. And going straight into the fall. We do have Neptune coming out, your fantasies, yearnings, longings, and potentials for illusions coming out. So it does look like you're going to be a daydream believer over here. Okay, so it does feel like you have some visions with some progress is going on. I also feel like there's a lot of new settling ideas. You have the Pisces with the Neptune energy. That's crazy. Pisces is Neptune. That's interesting. So I do feel like, yeah, you have this beautiful energy coming in that feels like it's kind of a rushing in. It's going to be very compassionate, very forgiving. I just feel like this is, it's going to be, yeah, the fourth house. Loving this, family, friends, the roots of your being. Just really getting into settling down. You could have just bought a new house. Maybe you finally, maybe you finally just got settled into that house. Because I do feel like a lot of you did move over here in spring. So maybe you guys are doing some kind of repairs or something. Maybe, I don't know. There's some beautiful things. For some of you, you're going to get some kind of new kitty, some kind of fur baby. Those of you who are already married and you're not making a new soul contract, the soul contract is the new baby coming in. That is a soul contract. I just want you to know. It's a contract with another soul to have a baby. If you are having a baby, then this is where you're making that baby room and getting ready for this baby to come in. And there's just a lot of family ties here. I do feel like this is now really, I love this now because it just feel like you're going to finally be really intuitive. Finally, guys, right? It's like now I'm really listening to my intuition. So I do feel like you're going to be exploring this new, fresh kind of direction, using that intuition, trusting your instincts, guiding you. Everything's worth pursuing. It just feels like there's this fantasy, this love going on, wanting to spark up the moments. Pisces energy is a lot of spark, a lot of love, a lot of intuitiveness. Let's see what we got going on over here. Tell us what's going on with Sag Cap in fall. Side piece. Secret romance, hidden affairs being second choice, only late night calls. Ooh, that could be still this soul contract over here for some of you who are still, still getting that going. And, I just, like I said, it feels like more of the rebound. Hustle mode, grinding hard, ambitious drive, determined efforts, a surge of inspiration. I just feel like you have this urge to explore this new, fresh direction going on. And maybe that's that side hustle. Like, you know what? Maybe I'll make a little Christmas money. Maybe now that I have everything down that I need, maybe I'll make a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Just for a little extra money, and that's all it's going to be. Yeah. Don't expect too much over here, guys. Online dating, instant attraction. Trust the signs, follow the guidance. Yeah, that's what I said before. That's why I said following your intuition. I said that. It's time to follow your intuition. I just feel like there's a lot that's inviting new, fresh ideas, a lot of honest conversations, a lot of mental clarity, getting new ideas off the ground. It could even be like going on vacation. There's just so many beautiful things happening in the fall over here. I'm just loving that. And this is going to be from October to December. And I just love that of 2026. And I just feel like there's, if you are doing something for a side hustle, you know, that you're doing, it could be just, you know, really just simple ideas, just something simple, something clean, something you just, you know what, I just want a little extra, I just need a little extra time, you know. Could be who you're going to share your Christmas with. I just see a lot of things coming together, guys. I'm really loving this. Really loving it. And for some of you, you're just going to be single. And, you know, just, you know what, just do myself. I don't want a relationship, because not everybody's going to be in a new relationship. Not everybody's going to be in a relationship. Some of you are just going to be single, happy, and just, you know what, not settling. I just appreciating what I have around me and appreciating my life. Okay, so I do see a lot of you being single as well, and that's beautiful. It doesn't always have to be about, you know, and it could just be like you and your best friend or something. Or like I said, it could even be you and your new, you know, dog, your new fur baby. So I don't know, but whatever you're building here, you're building something new here, something structured, something that makes you feel happy, something that you're just enjoying. And it's just really laying the foundations. It's really laying the foundations, guys, for what really is to come next in 2027. So whatever you're doing, you're really making this work for you. Finances, family life, however. Okay. I do feel like this, you know, you're really thinking in at this time of the year about what's coming in the long term, what's coming next year. How am I going to, you know, keep this structure going, or am I going to build the second layer of my enterprise, right? So I just feel like you're structurally sound, and especially of mind and body and soul. But it almost feels like for some of you, we're really getting ready for that next stage. Wow. Very deep, very intense. And I love that for you guys. You guys had, for a lot of you, it's a long time coming. So let's go ahead and get a daily healing card for the overall year. Give us a message for the beautiful Sag cat. If you guys do like this video and you're still here, be sure to hit that big old like button. It keeps my channel going strong. And if you keep finding yourself back at my channel and haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. That also helps my algorithms. Okay, so, and if you need a personal reading, you can find all the information in the description area under each and every video. And if you need meditation, music, or hypnosis, or just relaxing music, you can check out my second channel, Relaxing Whispers Meditation. I have all your meditation needs there. Okay, so I have about 122 subscribers and almost probably 1,000 videos. So there's plenty to watch and plenty to learn. Be aware that your thoughts and feelings are just as impactful as your actions. And that is what's going to set the tone for you, my friends. And I will see you next year in 2026. Peace and love, my friends. Bye-bye.